There we go. Good afternoon. My name is Tammy Eisenreich, and I'm a parent partner for the Lucas County Board of DD. And today I'm thrilled that we're going to be talking with Taylor Smith from the Maryan Parman Foundation for Children. And she's going to share some insight into how the organization got started and how you help families that have children with special needs, but also other things that you guys do. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Taylor Smith from the Maryan Parman Foundation for Children. We also go by MPFC. We are a nonprofit out of Southern California that helps children with either injuries, disabilities, or diseases get certain things that health insurance does not cover. We typically focus on low-income families. Each child can apply and they're kind of evaluated on a case-by-case basis. We do look at where the family is, where they're living, how many people are in their household, what their household income is before we make our decision, or we send it to the grant board to make the decision on it. We help with things like therapy. So intensive therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, hippotherapy, which is therapy on horseback, as well as swim therapy. We also provide medical devices. So things like a Rifton chair, maybe a high power wheelchair, or something that the child might need to continue their therapy at home. We've done a lot of those the vibration plates for children. A few of those, I know those are really big with children with developmental delay. And we also provide in-home modifications. So perhaps the child is wheelchair bound and they need a ramp to get into their home. Insurance isn't going to typically cover that for families. So that's where we would step in. We've also done some adaptive things like tricycles or shower chairs, things like that. So how families apply is they go to our website and we'll have an application open on there. You will put in the information, make sure to give as much detail as you can, and then you'll hear from us shortly, whether we tell you, we are a little backlogged right now, we'll get to you soon, or we will start with some intake questions where we find out a little more so that we can submit a full application to the grant committee. We typically award grants less than $5,000. Our average grant is probably $2,000 to $2,500. And we help kids all over the country. We don't really have a state requirement. We will help kids in any state. We started out just in California, and then the need grew to other states. So we're in, I think, 34 states now that we've helped children. So that number is always growing as well.
Wonderful. Things that popped into my mind were like, would you help like with kids with autism, the social component? Summer camp is a big thing that, I have a lot of families that look at. Now, granted, there are specialized camps that would provide the speech and OT and ABA all there, but then there's some that are more typical, which is helpful because autism being a social disorder, you want your child that has been learning all these skills one-on-one to be able to transition those to a typical playground, swimming pool area. Is that something that you guys would cover, even though it might be a typical camp versus a special needs camp?
Yeah, I think that's something the grant committee would assess at that time. We haven't actually covered anything like that, like a summer camp. I do know of a nonprofit I worked with, though, that does that exact thing. They actually host summer camps like that as well. But, a case by case basis. So if a family is interested in funding for something like that, definitely apply. If there is, a need for it and we can kind of justify the need. And then what we like to see are goals reached. So before the summer camp, I would like for the parent to let us know, I want my child to accomplish A, B, and C throughout this camp, or, I'm hoping that they gain this and this and this social skill. So that way we can kind of assess whether our grants are working or not. So that's very important to our board, is to show, that the grants are making a big difference and working. So we do ask for a lot of information on what goals are being set, and then, what at the end, we always check back in with a survey, and we want to know, did they reach their goals? We love when parents share photos and videos with us so that we can post it to our social media and inspire people to donate and get behind our cause too. We're fairly new. We've only been in operation 7 years, and we've helped, I think, over 140 children. So with grants of sizable amounts. So we're really happy to be here today, and hopefully we can help somebody here in the future.
How do you guys usually fundraise? Like being in South California, do you do your events exclusively there, or is there ways that families here in Ohio could help you with your
Yeah.
mission?
So we do a lot of social media fundraisers. So, we may post, or we also do email campaigns where we ask for corporate sponsors and things to sponsor specific children with specific needs. That way we can say, look, we're raising money for Raylan this month. Her therapy is $2,500. Will a corporation or private donors step up and donate that amount of money so that she can, get this medical device or this therapy? So we do a lot of campaigns like that people in Ohio could definitely help out with. In addition, we have a golf tournament every year and a gala, and those are really our biggest fundraisers. We make the majority of our fundraising money during those events. So our golf tournaments in the summer in June, people in Ohio are welcome to come and share in the fun. It's a lot of fun. And then we do a big gala in the fall every year, typically. So both of those events make us a majority of our income, and then we write for grants. So we're always looking for grant opportunities. If anyone was inspired by our mission and knew of someone who was awarding grants for certain things that might fit with our mission, we'd love to know about those so that we could apply and write in an application for them. So those are really our big sources of fundraising.
Well, it sounds like my mind is like, well, what have you denied? But let's not even go there. Let's say every
Yeah.
story is different. So the more documents, when you talk about sharing goals and things, as a parent, that makes me like, oh no, I don't know what my child should be learning. Do you want it? You want it from the professional, correct? Correct. You're hoping that the team that's working around the child and they're recommending this camp can kind of give you a guideline of what their goals would be, correct?
I think that's helpful for sure. Sometimes a parent will just connect me with, say they are wanting to go to an intensive therapy, and it's with a certain therapy provider. They'll connect me with that provider, and they may send me the quote. I definitely need quotes, but sometimes they'll send a quote with a little more detail, like why they're going to do certain things. But the parent I want to hear from too. I want to know what your goal is in this therapy. I mean, I think every parent has an idea of what they want their child to achieve when they're signing up for these intensive sessions or hippotherapy or swim therapy, whatever it may be. Usually it's to help them walk or improve their balance or help with their speech, things like that. So as much information as you can give me, but it is case by case basis. Typically we are denying children that have, that come from families with higher incomes. That's typically what we deny. And the reason is we just have so many children that have applied that have really low income households. So we're focusing, our funds on the lower income, not to say that, some of those higher income households don't need it just as bad. It's just that we have to kind of put our parameters somewhere when we have an influx of applications. So that's what we've been focusing on.
So when you talk about income, are they wanting W-2s? Like, I guess because your application isn't online right now, I wasn't sure. I usually let parents know ahead of time. Like, it's always a good idea to have proof of your income, maybe even an explanation of your benefits from your insurance to see if you've attempted to try to get this piece of equipment or this particular therapy covered by your medical insurance. And then an itemized bill, like you said, because that's where the money goes, right? You don't pay the family, you pay the provider. So that way it has all their contact information. And then their
Yes.
story. We have sample letters that we help family, just like 250 words, 500 words, and unlimited word. They're all very different asks, different diagnoses. And it's to kind of show not one way, not one answer is the right way to tell your story. And they are all unique. And I try to put a face to the organization so these families realize that you're not like Social Security and insurance, that it's so easy to say no. You want to say yes. So open up and share a little bit about your story with, your journey with your child. And I always say, what would you say if we were sitting down for coffee? Like that
Yeah.
type of thing. Why this therapy? What do you hope for, to see from it? Or, so I
Yeah, that's all great advice to give the parents, especially ones who want to apply through our website. Give us as much information as you can. When you apply, you don't actually get to upload anything. But when we reach out, we'll ask some follow up questions. And at that time, hopefully, then you can provide all of those documents. But yes, a W 2 is helpful. Any information you can provide on that. Can you, tell me what your monthly budget is so that if you do have a bit of a higher income, I can see, that you still don't have a whole lot left over to pay for some sort of therapy or medical device or something like that. Yeah.
Sounds great. Thank you again for spending time with me today. And hopefully families will take a look at your website, which is www.
www.mp, M as in Miriam, P as in Parman, for children, FOR children.org.
Perfect. Thank you
So
again.
it's mp for children.org. Thank you.